Germany, known for its precision and exceptional craftsmanship, is not only a prosperous nation, but also renowned for its ability to operate with remarkable efficiency and produce goods of exceptional quality. This reputation has solidified the notion that if it's German-made, it's undoubtedly top-notch. In recent decades, Germany has witnessed an extraordinary economic transformation that can be deemed one of the most remarkable miracles in history. We have previously discussed this phenomenon on both VisualPolitik and our sister channel, VisualEconomik. Today, Germany symbolizes heightened productivity, flourishing businesses, and a highly skilled workforce. However, there exists a significant and potentially grave issue that we have yet to shed light upon: Germany's struggle to attract skilled labor. Have you ever contemplated pursuing employment in Germany? Undoubtedly, many of you have pondered the prospect. Nevertheless, it seems that a greater number of individuals lean towards countries such as the UK, the Netherlands, productivity, access to essential services, and so forth. Its state-of-the-art factories, contemporary educational institutions, and enviable investments in techno-industrial advancements would be rendered meaningless without a workforce comprising teachers, engineers, doctors, workers, and professionals to set this colossal production apparatus into motion. However, a predicament arises. The problem becomes evident as we examine the following graph. Official statistics from the United Nations indicate that Germany's population is projected to decline from the current figure of approximately 83 million people. By 2023, the population is expected to breach the 80 million mark, eventually dipping into the 70 million range by the final decade of this century. While not as dramatic as the anticipated contraction in countries like Japan or South Korea, this decline still holds economic significance. Essentially, this data signifies not only a reduced population, but also an aging demographic, leading to a scarcity of available labor. Naturally, this demographic change can be attributed to alterations in birth patterns. However, another factor further exacerbates the economic impact of this decline: the challenge of talent retention. While it is true that Germany receives considerable immigration, a problem arises when highly skilled German workers retire. Finding suitable replacements is not an easy task, as we will soon discover. Germany does not experience a surplus of immigration, particularly a surplus of skilled immigrants. Consequently, we must question who would decline an opportunity in the realm of the German giant. Why do other destinations hold greater appeal? These are the questions that demand answers. In order to unravel this mystery, our first step must be to comprehend how this situation unfolded. This scenario is not an isolated case. Numerous developed countries, alongside some developing nations like China and Russia, are undergoing a rapid process of demographic aging. Notably, this process not only diminishes the available labor force, but also considerably amplifies public expenditure, encompassing pensions, healthcare, and dependency-related expenses. Germany recognized this predicament and, lo and behold, embarked on tackling it nearly half a century ago. The turning point arrived in the 1970s, when Germany's native population began to decline, thrusting the nation into a phase of negative population growth. As evident from the data since the 1970s, the number of deaths has consistently exceeded the number of births each year. To counterbalance this trend, Germany began to emphasize immigration. As illustrated in the graph, the influx of immigrants annually generally surpasses the native population's decline, thereby ensuring population growth over the years. Germany's demographic expansion essentially hinges upon the arrival of new immigrants. However, as the graph demonstrates, at the dawn of the 21st century, an alarm was raised when immigration rates experienced a sharp decline. During this period, nearly all of Europe was flourishing at a faster pace than Germany. The country was far from being the solitary blossom in an ever-expanding garden of prosperity. Naturally, such circumstances had repercussions. The competition hindered the influx of new labor into German industries. The pressing question arises, how did Germany respond? To be honest, the Germans approached this matter with the utmost seriousness. The government comprehended the importance of attracting young talent and sustaining demographic expansion to prevent both the economy and the social security system from plunging into crisis. To achieve their objectives, alongside actively promoting immigration, they also undertook various measures. Take a look at this example. On the 1st of January 2005, Germany implemented its first immigration law. Starting from the following year, newly arrived immigrants gained the right to participate in state-funded German language courses and receive an introduction to the country's legal system, culture, and history. The government allocated over 200 million euros to support this program, DW. These efforts yielded significant results as the annual net immigration to the country nearly tripled. From 73,000 individuals in 2004, the figure surged to 212,000 in 2008. Moreover, this was not the only noteworthy outcome. By 2016, Germany reached a historic milestone, with 432,000 non-German residents relocating to the country. It is important to note that Germany's membership in the European Union entails free movement of people and workers, which means other EU member states can emerge as competitors for labor. Unfortunately, Germany has faced challenges in effectively managing this growing competition. Danke, but no danke. Since 2013, the influx of immigrants to Germany has started to decelerate. Furthermore, OECD reports indicate that the country has become less attractive to skilled professionals. The OECD highlighted the significance of qualifications from an economic standpoint and expressed concerns regarding this matter. For instance, the OECD issued a warning in 2013, focusing on labor migration in Germany. The organization acknowledged Germany's relatively low barriers for highly skilled workers, but emphasized that the country only receives around 25,000 immigrant workers annually from outside the EU and the European Free Trade Area, EFTA. This figure accounts for approximately 0.02% of the population, while countries such as Australia, Denmark, Canada, and the United Kingdom attract 5 to 10 times more skilled immigrant workers, OECD German Labor Market Report, 2013. In essence, although emigrating to Germany may have been comparatively straightforward, skilled workers have shown a preference for alternative destinations due to factors such as language, standards, and lifestyle. A survey conducted by the Swiss-based International Institute for Management Development revealed that German employers perceive the ease of recruiting international talent unfavorably. Therefore, the OECD report does not entirely capture the reality of the situation. Red tape has posed a challenge for the past decade. In many ways, the legislation implemented in 2005 to attract skilled immigration became outdated when compared to the incentives offered by neighboring countries. Consequently, between 2018 and 2020, the German parliament initiated several changes to the act to facilitate the entry of professionals from outside the European Union. For example, the process for immigrants to arrive without a job contract was streamlined. However, just as these changes were being implemented, the pandemic disrupted the landscape, causing immigration to come to a sudden halt. This encompassed immigrants of all skill levels and ultimately services. A notable example is the recent news about Germany using temporary foreign workers to address staff shortages at its airports, illustrated by images of long queues at security checkpoints in Düsseldorf Airport. Reuters, the 25th of June, 2022. In essence, the German economy urgently requires diverse labor. The German Institute for Labor Market and Employment Research estimates that a minimum of 400,000 new arrivals is necessary each year to maintain workforce stability. Moreover, the scarcity of skilled labor is becoming increasingly severe, with a survey conducted in December 2022 revealing that 7 out of 10 companies are facing shortages in this area. Additionally, Germany now faces the issue of skilled workers leaving the country, resulting in a brain drain. This poses a significant threat to the robust industry that drives Europe's strongest economic powerhouse. Returning to the initial question of why there is a scarcity of professionals willing to live and work in one of the world's most developed nations, we must examine the problem. Germany grapples with 3 interconnected issues, each exacerbating the others. Firstly, the supply of human capital from European nations cannot be expected to remain abundant indefinitely. Official data indicates that countries like Serbia, North Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Albania have experienced significant population declines, ranging from 9% to 37%, particularly affecting their well-educated and highly qualified young individuals. Furthermore, Europe as a whole is experiencing an aging population, further limiting the pool of skilled workers available for recruitment by German companies. In essence, the pool of skilled workers is no longer sufficiently large. Many experts argue that the initial benefits of the European Union expansions have reached their limit, with exceptions such as Ukraine, which has also seen a substantial exodus of skilled workers, especially among the younger generation. Consequently, analysts suggest that the quest for talent must extend beyond continental boundaries. This line of thinking led to the 2020 reform of the Skilled Immigration Act, which aimed to facilitate the entry of skilled immigrants from non-EU countries. The reform no longer exclusively requires university degrees, but also recognizes vocational training as proof of qualification. The intricate German immigration system involves the participation of numerous government entities, including 7 ministries, excluding secondary agencies and local governments. This poses a significant deterrent for German enterprises. In 2022, only 17% of the surveyed companies enlisted skilled workers from overseas, as reported by the Bertelsmann Foundation. While larger companies can expedite the process by engaging consultancies and law firms, small and medium-sized enterprises encounter a nearly insurmountable barrier. In a sense, the 2020 extension of eligibility marked a positive step towards attracting professionals from outside the European Union. However, it failed to adequately prepare the bureaucracy for such a challenge. Facilitating mobility within the European bloc proved simpler, but incorporating professionals from other regions exponentially multiplies the documentation and requirements. Incorporating a worker from Thailand or Uruguay is considerably more arduous and expensive than hiring someone from Poland, illustrating the second problem. Lastly, the third obstacle stems from a more complex factor, namely cultural differences, exacerbated by language barriers. In August 2022, the German Federal Employment Agency addressed this issue and discovered that many non-German-speaking workers who immigrate to Germany do not make an effort to learn the language, primarily due to contemplating departure. Skilled workers who choose to leave Germany often cite problems with language integration, obtaining permanent residence, housing costs, the cost of living and taxes, difficulties in reuniting with their families, and clashes with the local culture. Complicating matters further, the immigration legislation does not adequately account for freelancers, a category of workers that is largely ignored. These 3 challenges collectively contribute to Germany's failure to be as appealing a destination as it should be. Consequently, the German Ministry of Labor estimates that if this situation persists beyond 2026, over 200,000 currently filled positions will become vacant, which would adversely impact companies, productivity, and the country's economic growth. Thus, the issue is expected to be prominently discussed in public forums starting October 2022, with proposed reforms including the introduction of an opportunity card based on language proficiency, professional experience, connection to Germany, and other criteria. Furthermore, on March 29th, the Qualified Immigration Law underwent another amendment, allowing foreigners with relevant work experience and education from their home countries to work in Germany, even if their qualifications are not recognized. They will also have the opportunity to work part-time while seeking long-term employment, and individuals holding academic degrees or professional certificates will be permitted to stay in Germany for up to 1 year while searching for a job. The success of these reforms remains uncertain, and only time will provide answers. The question arises, would you contemplate living in Germany? Are you interested? How do you believe this country can enhance the influx of new talent? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments section and engage in a meaningful discussion. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, and until next time.